According to computer. Would you say that again, Chris?
Yes, we had a in-person men's space in Brooklyn, and we had 9 men together.
Cool. What did you guys do?
What did we do?
We had what I would call like an introductionary call, introductionary space was not a call, to feelings work and yeah, the basic context of possibility management.
Were there
Yay.
any distinctions? Yay.
with a big focus on recognizing and developing conscious anger,
Yes.
with the practices mostly focused around that, and a little bit of heart gym to summarize everything at the end.
Way cool. And were the men all new to possibility management, feelings work?
The four of us are the ones who have experience, and then everyone else was new. Yes, everyone else was new. There's another man who's new and who's also coming to the men's training in February, and he was here. And then 3 men that Jonas met this week.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I invited them all.
And they came? They're
They
coming?
came. Yeah, I was super glad
Wow.
to see them.
That's great.
Yeah,
Yay.
and they were. I felt especially glad because they were younger than me, and like they were between 19 and 23. And
Whoa.
usually I'm the youngest in spaces like that, and I felt so glad to have like a new generation emerging and being like, yes, like new people and new men, and yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, go for
Awesome.
passing on what works for you.
Say that again, Michael.
Go for passing on what works for you. Like there's something special to be the one who's kind of already holding the matrix, holding the culture, and say, "Hey, I have something that's working for you, for me, and I pass it on to you." Not because I'm the hierarchy leader, but I've tried it out and it's working and it's great, and let's do it together.
Yeah, thank you. We have Maciek joining, and then I'm going to just start rolling here. Maciek, hello.
Hello,
Oh,
Devin.
Hey.
I'm glad I'm here.
Me too. Welcome. So I want to start the space just by saying welcome, and I feel I feel really glad that over the last couple of days, so many. I mean, we have sort of about half the people here who've been reaching out to me about coming to the space from the last few days. Meaning, there's like a circle of men outside of this space who are um, who are also interested in the possibility of building a culture of men that has initiation at the center, a men's like a men's village where that's part of what we are up to together is holding space for going through initiation. And when in a way, this work talk in this space is inspired not because I have some idea and I wanted to bring it, but because I've had conversations with many men, like one recently with Michael Carlinger, one with a guy named Gabriel Leschemon a few weeks ago, also with Christopher Troutman over the last couple of months about a kind of longing emerging in different men to have more of a I want to say like a clear village of men who come together, who know what each other are up to, who where it would be possible to to say, these men are working on gremlin transformation. These men are discovering about archetypal lineage. These men are discovering about fatherhood and what's needed for a father in next culture. And so what I want to say is my experience the last few months is there's a field of uh, of men that or it seems alive in the field of a longing to create a more, I don't know, clear village of men, which was not the case 5 years ago in possibility management, in my experience. And so however many men are here right now, there's a group of men out there also who will probably watch this recording, and that I would like to fold into whatever this space becomes. Which for me, I'll talk a little bit about my own inspiration for this space, but what I really want is, this started as there's going to be a training in February, men's Expand the Box extended training that I'll be holding space for. And when I was sitting with what I actually want in this work talk, there's a part of me where I'm like, it's really not about the men's extended Expand the Box. It's like what I want is an ongoing place for men to come together and practice what they care about, create the teams that they're really needing, and to discover what it's like to create intimacy with other men when that intimacy isn't necessarily based in, when it's not based in patriarchy, or when it's not based in maybe the kinds of friendships that I learned about between men growing up, but in the discovery of, what is it like to be friends with men in next culture? What would it be like if my friendship with you, like what was at the center of it was love and initiation and radically being on your team for becoming who you are. And so I welcome you to the space, and anyone else out there in the world who's going to be watching this. And I want to start with also just inviting each of us to like bring ourselves in. And there's there's something in you that wanted to come to this work talk, or has your own longing, I think, that maybe you don't completely know everything about, or maybe it's just a seed in you, but a longing for being a part of a culture of men that includes initiation, or that is based or centered in initiation. And I want to just go around where you say your name and say a little bit about that, about what you're doing here, what brings you here today. And I just want to go, you bring yourself in, so I won't call on you. You just say, okay, I'm so and so, and this is what I'm here for. To open the space for that.
I'll go. My name is Austin Lindsay, and I live in Oklahoma, in the middle of the U.S. And yeah, I feel fear because I'm in a new kind of liquid state for me, related to necessity. Is that what's coming is like this last week, is that building village is still so fantasized. I still have so many ideas of what it really means to be real, and to not withhold, and to not be adaptive, and in my commitment to feeling and connecting to the people, and seeing what's been happening is like new layers of my underworld come up in my relating, and being a bit more conscious of the pain of my gremlin, and how it comes and affects me creating village. And I feel scared and sad, because yeah, I'm coming to this point this week where there's like parts of me is like, I don't know if I actually do want this path of feeling. I don't know if I do want this path because the pain, like being committed to feeling means I'm finally feeling the damn things instead of, there's like parts of me that say, maybe I do want my good boy box. Maybe I do like that because then I know what you see. And fuck, it's just, yeah, I feel sad because it's quite devastating to come to grips with the pain of the war that's inside of me, the resentment and uh, the right and wrong. And yeah, I feel sad because of this pain of coming to grips and being in this liquid state and coming to grips a bit more with my gremlin and how it uh, feeling the cost of what it creates. And so yeah, me coming here is something like I like so want to create village, and yet it's like it doesn't look like all these fantasies I have, like this authenticity and commitment to feeling and not revealing or to revealing. It doesn't look like these pretty pictures I have, and it's devastating to come to grips with what patriarchy out there, but it's actually in here. The war out there, it's actually in here. Yeah, it's just new layers of that coming up, specifically this week in relating. And I feel glad because I have Chris and Jeremy. We have a 3-cell that we've been going since October, and just to be able to stay in contact with these two men, this has been yeah, a lifeline for me. So this is what I bring.
Thank you, Austin.
Thank you, Austin.
Thank you, Austin. I I am Maciej. Right now I'm in Poland. And I I feel fear because yeah, there's something happening for me about like needing to have an answer, and that answer better be good and something like that. And I I am researching, well, my my experience has been that mm, I've been having different like pictures, or let's say fantasies about what I want to create and how I want it to look like and what is missing and what I want to feel, and that missing part and how I want it to go. And it's in my experience it has been quickly like coming up and then vanishing, and then the next thing comes up and it vanishes, and it's like a spike of excitement, and then it goes away. And I am researching something different, which is like coming from a point of origin of being with what is, and not from a orientation of a like a problem that I would make before that there is a problem, something is missing, and then how do I solve it? And I feel sad because I experience how this is really bringing me to what I long for, which is connection and intimacy, and and also which is important part of that with man. And yeah, so my research is how to create it right now and from the place where I'm in, and not have like not go into a plan of building something and creating something instead. Yeah, and I had something else I wanted to share, which now flew away. So I will finish here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maciek.
I will share. Um, my name is Chris. I'm I'm in research right now about creating a team and collaboration with other men. And this my necessity for this comes from noticing how I my first impulse with men is like competition or comparison. And I revealed this with Austin the other day, how even now with Austin I notice an impulse to compete with him. And I feel sad. I feel sad to even put this in this space about how I block intimacy with you, Austin, and I feel sad because I want to be close with you, and yeah, I'm here to notice how I block intimacy with men and to to try something different. It's like I don't even know how it goes. I don't know what the different thing is, and I want to discover and have a laboratory for this. Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Chris.
you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. My name is John Alba, and I'm in Oklahoma. Hmm. I feel I feel fear right now because because there's the idea that what I want is more connection, intimacy, and collaboration. And I'm hearing this call because I want to know how, like, I want to be able to bring that to others, to in other spaces, not just this space, but I've either been a part of or held space for men for like 8 years, not in a PM context. And I'm seeing that the work that's done in those other spaces, like it's nourishing and it works, but there's still like a layer or 2 layers or 3 layers that aren't happening. And so it's happening here, and men go here and I go here, and I want I want to be able I want to share, like I want more for myself and for you and for the men that I'm with, and being able to navigate that space. Like I feel fear that I won't, and and I feel sad at times when it doesn't happen. And I feel glad to be here right now with you, um, and that we do this together, and I discover, you discover, and we work together, collaborate to like, so that I have it and you have it, and then we can take these collaborations, these connections into our other spaces. And I actually feel really, I'm angry. I'm angry because I want the world, I want the men of the world to have each other, instead of it's like lone wolfing or competition, or the typical like zero sum game of win lose. I fucking want that to
Mm.
go away, and the only way it goes away is by me being here and you being here, and and make winning happening. And I want that. I want that for me, and I want that for the spaces I'm in. And I feel sad that I can't do that all the time. I feel sad that I get to places and I just don't know how to navigate that. And so that's why I'm here.
Oh,
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
thank you, John.
There's another guy who just came in, and I actually don't know him, but I want to let him in the door. So just so you all are aware. Hello, Ben.
Hello, Ben.
Hello.
Oh man.
And you're on mute, so you know.
All right. Sorry, Blake. Thank you.
Hey, Ben.
Welcome.
Hey.
Ben, right now we're going around introducing ourselves and bringing in speaking into kind of the question of what are you doing here, and in particular what your longing, as far as you know, would be for living in or building a village with other men at the center. And we're not going in any
Yeah,
particular order, so just so that's clear.
Okay.
My name is Michael. I'm from Germany. Uh, and I feel joy and sadness to be connected to somehow all you men over there in America or in New Zealand, um, because I miss America. Like I've been so much in America, and then when I saw the invitation to this extended ETB, and somehow the the idea sparked in me for coming back to America. And somehow I don't know, I'm scared because I notice how easy it is for me to let my gremlin take over and let him create. And it's especially easy if I don't have feedback. So I don't want to tell a victim story. It's more about I want feedback. I really I want to have a team of men daring enough, angry enough, clear enough to say, hey, this is bullshit. Right now you're bullshitting. The last weeks I've been, for the first time in my life, like I never went much to doctors because I was never really sick. My physical body is always working, or mostly working, and the last month I noticed teeth having problems and pains, and this is so new, and I have no clue what's going on. I have doctors to talk to, but they're merely like they're gone. They're like robots, and I would love to have, I don't what mages or men who go to the woods and collect berries and say, here, try this, or men say, hey, I've experienced this. This is an experiment you could do. And I'm literally dreaming of having monthly standing rage circles of man, to just come together, and without knowing where this leads, I just want to try it. I feel so. I'm sad because I feel so rich. I don't know what privileged is the word. I feel so privileged that I have the time and the resources to be in a space like that, where men are like this here, where we're all kind of committed, and with so much matrix. I wanna I wanna make the best of it. I wanna really try it. I'm up for really trying to train and do the processes and like work the handbook up and down and back and forth I feel alive when I think of that. When I think of being with you for 7 days and just going through processes and feeling and being honest and sharing and hugging and I don't know what. So, and I'm scared because it's like 2 grand for me to $2,000 or more to come for me to come to America and do that. It's so wicked, it's so out of mind. But and somehow I have this huge yes to this man's village and coming in here and hearing in New York there's man's meetings going on. How amazing is that? So. Yeah, my mind would like to make reasons, but yeah, that's why I'm here.
Thank you, Michiel.
Thank you, Michael.
And I have one fear that keeps popping up, just logistically. Devin, do you have your self view on? I want you on this recording.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh,
It
cool.
is on.
Thanks you.
I want to go next. My name is Jonas, and what really brings me here is what brings me here is my necessity to have. Yeah, let me wait until. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, what brings me here is my necessity to have a team of men to help me initiate into manhood. And yeah, I feel glad and scared that you, Devin, put this initiation also at the center. You said it's, yeah, like the center of the culture that you want to build. And I feel glad because that's exactly what I want right now. Just today I had an EHP with Valentin, and um, yeah, he gave me this possibility about initiating into manhood, and yeah, I want to do it with other men. Like it's not something that I will do with women, and I want to be with men in this who also did that, who yeah, who who know what it's like and who have walked the path, and also men who are walking the path. And yeah, and I feel sad because I'm really looking for this company, and I feel touched. Yeah, I'm touched because it's emerging, and I can see it happening. It's happening right now. It's here. And it's beautiful. It's yeah, I yeah, I want that not only for me, I want that for the younger guys that were today at the gathering. I want this for my children. I want this for yeah, humanity. And yeah, yeah, and I have nothing more to say. That's That's what I want, and that's what I'm here for right now.
Mhm. Thank you, Yona.
Thank you, Eunice.
I'll share. My name is Jeremy, here in New York City. My necessity for being here is because I feel sad with all the ways that I numb myself to feeling. I can see I'm missing out on a huge quality of richness within myself and within connecting to others, and the necessity of a village is so I can have support to be called out when I'm bullshitting, or to be shown things that I don't know, whether it's just through being in the presence of you all or through some initiatory practice. And I really want that. I really want to be a full human being, and I can see the ways where I'm blocking myself, and I want the support of men, and to be support for men, in becoming whole, and achieving whatever this existence has in store. And also the initiatory part really speaks to me. Is something that I don't even, I couldn't even begin to say what I think that is. Like, I have some idea from some other stuff, but I just know it's so necessary, and I just know that I that I don't know. I know enough to know that I really, I want to find out with you all together. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy.
I'm Steve. I can go next. I would echo a lot of things I've heard. For me, also, I feel like I have not experienced initiation, and I I don't I see areas where I don't feel capable, uh, ways that I stay small, ways that patterns that I repeat that just aren't don't match with my goals for myself, or uh, that my ideas of myself. And I've been hiding from men my entire life, mostly friendships with women, um, and
Mhm.
so my necessity, I feel in I've been exploring possibility management just about 6 weeks, not very long, but I feel a lot of potential here. I feel
Mm.
um, there's a lot of learning I can do, and yeah, I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what can be created in in these spaces, and trying to really hold myself accountable and stop making excuses and being seen. Really, hopefully, being letting myself be seen in the bullshit I do, and to something heard earlier was just kind of welcoming that. Like, I want the feedback. I'm here to get some feedback, and a lot of the men in my life when I was younger, I think, were just checked out or small in different ways, and I have never experienced what I'm looking for, I think. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank you,
Steve.
Steve.
Thank you.
I'll go. I said a little bit about myself in the beginning, and um, I think like at the base of what I want is to be closer to men. And when I say closer, like I really mean um, at a level of just being very involved in each other's lives. And part of the inspiration for that came from a few, over the last few years in possibility management, the women have come together in this incredible movement called Women of Earth, and at times I've had the opportunity to be around women who are part of this movement, including a few weeks ago in New Mexico. I was living with two of them, and just over and over, I got to see how this thing about a woman being small or having self-doubt or not saying what's really in her heart, that they would be so close to each other that they could ask this question of like, what happened there? Like, what's going on with you? That they were so invested in each other, being
Mm.
bigger and being more
Mm.
themselves, and unfolding. And I have had that experience myself, but only with women, actually. Maybe to some degree with men, but not to the degree that I think could be possible. And so, like, that's part of what I want, is that it's like even here, like we've each so far shared pieces about where we're at or what we want, and and I have not. I can feel it's like a step from here, an edge of like that. I would be such a pain in the ass for you about like for you, Michiel, about wanting to hold like a monthly rage club for men. That's like I could be a pain in the ass for you about actually doing that because I love you and because I want more of that in the world. Or that, like what with you, Steve, that it's like that I could just call you and be like, how's it going with being closer to men? How's what do you think initiation is for you? Like that it's that level of involvement with other men. Um,
Mm.
and to not know how it goes. I mean, one of the things that uh, um, I don't know if any of you know this guy, Jacopo, who's not so involved in possibility management anymore, but we were having a conversation a while ago, and he said something like, for men to look at women and think that we should just do what the women are doing in terms of interacting, he said, that's insane. It's like we're starting from a totally different place in terms of how do men interact, and not how do men pretend to be women interacting the way that women interact. And so I'm also sitting in this like, yeah, what's the discovery about, like, my main feeling when I'm around other men is fear, and it's emotional fear, and there's a feeling of fear, but it's like kind of my unconscious way of relating with most men is like, um to have distance, and to not necessarily say what I see and be clear and be big and be a problem, and or even more than that, to be like radically loving with other men, to tell them for no reason that like I love you within the first hour of meeting them, and not have that be some kind of trick to get them to like me. But it's like there's a whole discovery, I think, about, yeah, how the heck do men relate? And and uh that's also a part of where I'm at. And I know there's so much men's work out there, and I've done some of it. I've been involved in some men's work over the years, and a lot of the men's work I have done has kind of this idea already, or concepts already about what a man is. In terms of like a man would be integrity, a man is commitment, a man is iron. Iron sharpens iron, and I think there's a part of that that's like accurate, that I need other men to call me out on my bullshit, to be very real with me. And then there's also a part where I'm like, maybe that's what a man is, but maybe this is undiscovered territory. And I bring this because I was one of my male heroes is Fred Rogers, who I think Europeans might not know, but this is Mr. Rogers, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and there's a film called, I think I'll send it to you, the link to it, but I think it's called like A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, and it's a documentary about his life. And this guy had a stand for children. And when I saw this documentary, it made me remember that there was a time in my life. He was a television personality, and he had this television show that was for children. And that there was a time in my life where this man would be on TV looking into the camera at me and at millions of other children. And I remember this, I was like, this is the only adult in my life. Is this guy on TV? Is this man on TV who's paying attention? And anyway, this was his stand, and he's a weird guy. That's part of what I want to say. It's like he's not standard masculinity at all. He's a weird guy who figured out how to bring what was inside him, which was an immense amount of love, out into the world. And it's like did anyone grow up watching him at all or see any of his stuff?
I saw some of the stuff.
Yeah, so it's like there's that, and then the documentary goes into all the people who worked with him, and he was a space holder. It's like he wasn't just a television guy. He held space for everyone who worked with him.
Would you share more about him? Because you used the word weird.
Yeah.
And I know what you're talking about, the guy. And so would you put it in space? Like what he did, how he was?
Yeah. I mean, when I say weird, I mean like he's a little awkward. His body moves strange. Like his voice is kind of unusual. He's so sweet. Like he's sweet in a way that's sort of, there are many people who thought he might be a pedophile, and like there's no evidence of that at all. But it's like he would talk about love. Like people would ask him, interview him on national television about what he's up to, and he would talk about love. And this is a man who started in 1969, creating this television. So it's like maybe nowadays that would be more, I don't know, more acceptable, but it's like that was his stand. And then there's moments, and you see them in this documentary, where he's talking to Congress, or he's talking into, part of his stand came from, he's so angry that what television is for children is cartoons that are really loud and flashy, and then advertisements. And he hated television. And that's where his stand came from, was like, no way is this going to be the only thing children are watching, is this stuff that turns them into consumers. And so there are moments in this documentary where you see him fucking angry, saying radical stuff like, you are not going to be the ones who say what our children watch. I am because I care. It's like, that's radical. That's his stand. And it's like, this is a guy who kind of looks like he could have been a small, hidden nobody. Like, and he didn't. And so I encourage you to watch it, because for me it opens a whole other door of, okay, this is something, this is a man, this is a realized man, like who his life became his mission, and everybody he talked to was affected by that. And I think that's in us. I think that's in each of us. The possibility of having our stand be out in the world realized. Um, there's an
Devin,
article.
Devin, this is so precious. Just this.
Yeah.
Mm, 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 mm,
This stand for this stand is so precious. How he hated TV, and so he went to TV instead and created a whole new possibility instead of just being anti. And yeah, for being a new picture somehow of like what an archetypal man can be, that's so nonlinear from what I see advertisements for
mm.
men's work to look like. It doesn't look like Mr. Rogers. He's not included in that mix, and I feel so glad that this is a pioneer of a man before, yeah, even before it was more acceptable now or something, that he was such a stand. And I feel sad because, yeah, it's even somehow so invisible to me until just now. It's like finally I watched this like a year ago or something when it came out, and it touched me, but it's hitting me. Yeah, so even somehow it's still, I feel sad because somehow it's still invisible to me to see, like, to miss archetypal men and to miss the stands and to miss what's going on. And so, yeah, I want to go watch this again, and I feel really glad that you're bringing this. And I sense this. I just want to say too, Devin, I sense this in you. Like when I was there at the Possibility Lab with you, and somehow it came up with my son, and we're talking about my son, and or no, actually, we were talking about books. We saw some children's books there, and we were talking about it. And you heard that I'd never read Dr. Seuss, and the moment, like I don't, it seemed like in the lightning speed of an eye, the moment you heard I hadn't read Dr. Seuss and that I was a dad and that this was part of my stand for boys. I don't know if you blinked, but you said, "I want your address. I'm going to send you these books." And to be able to read about the Lorax, about the passion for the earth and for the trees, to with my son, and experience it myself the first time, and with my son to bring that in, it's like it's really precious to me. So yeah, I wanted to share this.
Thank you, Austin. I think I could say more, but I also want to hear from you, Ben, just coming in here, if you're up for sharing.
Yeah. So I came here today. I was just in a room with Jeremy, Chris, Jonas, and Steve, who live quite clear, who were meeting earlier today in a men's circle, quite close to where I live, and encouraged me to come to this. I'd heard about it, but I'm going to the retreat in February, and have some close friends who have attended other possibility management things and expand the box things, and they were very encouraging about it. So that's how I came to know about possibility management. This is the first this thing I went to today in New York. I'm in New York, I'm in Brooklyn also. And this is the first time I've heard about this, my first time experiencing, but I've had it recommended strongly. So that's my reason for being on the call today, but my I think necessity for interest in the program is that I want to use it. I want it to use it in my work and have more vocabulary and tools around conscious relating, especially with men, and to bring that into the rest of the world, and to see what it has to offer. It feels pretty simple to me.
Then will you say when you say you want to use it in your work, what is it that you do in your work?
I do a few different things that are related to this. I do men's intimacy work. I do intimacy and sexual health work, and particularly around with men over the age of 50, so 50 through retirement, helping them find and build community.
Thank you. I think this is everybody. Is there anybody who hasn't spoken yet? No. I wanted to try something in smaller groups here, which is that, I'll just say, like, this whole thing about it's come up a couple of times here, but one of the things that I experienced more when I first came into possibility management was this thing about being a lone wolf. And I've heard that also from other men about, in a way, trying to get through chunks of life alone without support, which is without a village, without a team. And and I had an experience a couple months ago of going through a breakup and then holding an Expand the Box with my ex-partner. It was so fresh. And before that, I was like, I need a team in a way I've never needed a team before. And I could tell the tale, but it's like, basically I put a bunch of men into a Telegram group, and I said, like, I really need you guys for this. Like, I need to be able to call you. I need to be able to hear from you. I'm going to be in the Expand the Box and hear all the breaks I have, who's available. And men were available every single break I had. Men were available to meet with me and call me and have conversations with me. Maciek was also there, a guy named Oran, who told me to tell you all he loves you, and he's not here today, but he was there to do holding with me. But it's like I had an experience of really going all out, leaning into this group of men. Anytime I needed something, somebody picked up the phone. It's like it took me years to be able to create a team like that, and then to actually use it. Just different. Like, creating the team is one thing, but learning to use it is another. And what I noticed is that I have not so far been asked at that level from other men. Will you be invested, involved, interfering in a way in my life to work on this thing and to shift whatever's going on in my lone wolf stuff. And it just changed something. Like, it shattered something in me. Like, it shattered a story I had of, like, men aren't there for each other. Like, it just doing that just broke that down for me. But it did a lot of other things. And so what I wanted is to here split into groups and to find like basically be in groups of two, and one man you be kind of the coach and the listener interviewing the other man. And the other man, you're navigating inside yourself to the place where it's like you could use a team like that, where it's like you have something in your life that you want to shift, that you've tried to shift, or you have some area in you where it's like you're desperate, or there's something in your heart where it's like you need space held for it these days. And the idea is that you find that thing that you could ask other men for being on your team for, and it would make a difference in your life. And so that's the person going, and the person listening, you ask questions, you help them go deeper. Sometimes, like for me, these areas are pretty invisible because I've been so used to trying to handle stuff on my own. It's like I don't even really know. And so as a coach or an interviewer, you really be on that man's team to like an origami, like unfold these corners of their heart, where maybe they're not even aware, that would be meaningful for me to have other men invested in my life at that level. Are there any questions about this proposal? Okay. So I'll put us into breakout rooms, and then Jeremy, Chris, Jonas, Steve, you just go into, separate spaces together. See how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Okay, I'll send out timing for these. We'll have like probably 11 minutes for one man or so, and then 11 minutes for the next man. See you soon. Hey, Maciek.
Oh, no.
I'm just gonna set a timer here. Would you go first?
Yes, I will
Okay.
go first. I yeah, I feel fear from getting feedback. Yeah, just like it's kind of like I'm going from a bit of a different way, but it's like related to that. Like the what's stopping me, what's like in a way or related to how I navigate asking for a team and like really committing to 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 like wanting my team to be on my team is that I'm scared of feedback, and I'm scared of like losing myself in the feedback and not disconnecting from my own experience. And well, yeah, it's I feel angry. I feel angry because yes, like I have anger about like protective anger that is like no, I don't want your feedback. I don't want your feedback. You can have your feedback to yourself because I'm like being with myself right now. I'm navigating this experience and I'm like holding on to it because and I'm afraid of losing it as soon as I get feedback that will be like a different perspective from what I have.
Mm.
Oh yeah. And yeah, and I noticed like this is how it goes for me in this team that I am having right now after I came from Tenerife. Um, and
And what is it? Can you go? You can check this out, but something with the feedback, like what is it? I want to hear more about that and like what it
Mhm.
would be, what it's you really want there from your team. Because maybe it's not feedback, but maybe there is something else, or maybe it is feedback, but you'd need it in a kind of way that it could come closer to you. So, what is it really about the feedback?
Mhm. Mm. Mm. Yeah, I feel sad because I want I want feedback um coming from a neutral place and coming from another person's experience. And right now I do not want feedback which is I oh yeah, there are some emotions in there which are like making me lose clarity about this. There is a way I decode feedback which sometimes has to do with how a person puts it out, and sometimes is because of I decoded it that way. That is like someone is telling me about myself, and then that doesn't work for me, and I push it back, and because of that, like fear of like giving my authority about my own experience to someone else, and then sometimes feedback lands in me as just someone's experience, and that's very valuable to me, and that like I can receive that, and that makes me feel sad when I think about it, and makes me feel sad when I because I connect to I'm appreciative of that someone would be like willing to share vulnerably about their experience of something related with me, and yeah, and so I want this, and I see how there are emotions in the way of like me clearly distinguishing like and giving feedback to a person giving feedback, or like asking for what kind of feedback I want. Um,
I have a
but yeah,
question.
but just think about like, yeah.
And then keep going. It's like if I were really on your team and you were to coach me about what you need from me in terms of feedback, like you could do it now live, but how can I be closer to you? How could I be more on your team?
Hmm. Yeah, one thing that comes is that you speak from oh, yeah, that you speak from your heart and from your experience about what's happening for you, and that you clearly have a purpose of sharing that with me, so I am closer to you, and like in this way, and not with a purpose of changing me.
So that I would share from my experience and not from the purpose of wanting to change you, but of bringing it to you.
Yeah, yeah. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, no, no. now I don't know what I don't have anything else to say right now.
Well, I kind of interrupted you, but if so, where's the area where you would want me or someone else to be on your team? If you could have that anywhere in your life, like what is the place that you need that right now?
Thank you for the question. Hmm. 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 Um, well, I feel fear to share. This is not a like what comes is not the area of my life, but like what comes is the I yeah I would like this kind of feedback and about the, the what I share in the in the Teams group that you're in about my experience being here back from Tenerife. And I feel fear because I have a story that I'm like drifting somewhere, uh, like sharing, and and it's like some kind of emotional fear also about like not being perceived, and I'm afraid of getting feedback of like they will decode us, like what the fuck are you talking about, or this is bullshit, or something like this, and this is not. Yeah, well, yeah, this doesn't work for me, and like it's also for me to be able to decode feedback in a way where I don't make it about myself, but about an experience of the person giving the feedback. And yeah, so I would like to have feedback about how what I'm sharing lands, for example, in your like what's happening for you when you read that. Um,
So you want feedback about how what you're sharing in that group lands.
yeah, and also like all the other parts of the experience, which could be like you have a feeling that there is something that I'm not sharing, or there is a way that like I think there is like anything that maybe like there is a way that this like I'm using this theme that you feel something about it, or just yeah, just like really anything of your experience when 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 you come in contact with yeah with, yeah when I don't know when you connect with me. Mm.
There's about 1 minute left. I'm just going to let the other groups know that too.
Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Um,
Will you repeat what you just said? The last part?
yeah, because that I want to know about your experience about like about ah yes want to know about your experience when you uh, I said when you come when you're in connection with me, and then I feel fear because I have a story that sometimes think I share are like I'm like somehow avoiding connection, or I'm like not in connection or something. Um, yeah, it just like a lot of fear comes up for me, and this protective anger right now when I speak about it, and because I'm afraid of like stories I have about myself like getting confirmed by something that you say. Something like that.
Okay. I'd have more questions. I mean, we're at the end, but what I heard you say is that you want my you would want to hear my experience of being in contact or connection with you and and feedback about that or notice things about that. And then what I
Yeah.
notice is that I mean this is already feedback about that, but I noticed that you say that and then you immediately jump to your fear about that, or it almost seemed like a I mean we could talk about it more, but is that what you want from me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna just ask the men to switch.
Okay.
Switch. Switch roles, not switch partners. Okay. Ah,
We'll get my phone to take time.
I'll keep
Or
time because I'm
I
gonna
will
let
do.
the men know anyway
Okay.
when to switch.
Okay.
Okay. Come on. Here we go. Okay. Uh,
Hmm. Hmm.
I'll t I just go. The something that I notice as like a pattern for me that I would want help with is that there are things that I want to do that are really bigger than my box. And they include like holding trainings. They include doing work talks like this and it's like this is the first work talk, but after this I want to hold, monthly spaces that are free, that are like the village of men coming together and growing that and discovering that. And it's like I want that. And there's more. There's so much that I want and want to do. And and I I the best I can say it is like that I fall back asleep a lot, and or I forget how beyond my box how big my bright principles actually are, how like how much I want certain things. And it's like I'll fall back asleep. And I think you've seen this. Like I'll get small, I'll pretend I don't have the clarity that I have. And it the way I experience it, and it's becoming more clear, but it's like I have one foot in and one foot out of what I'm doing. And I want that time in my life to be over. Like like if I'm that's what I want a team for, is like what would I need for that time in my life where what would I need for both my feet to be all in? And a part of it is I don't know exactly what it is, but it's connected to men. Like I had this experience recently of I'm on a gremlin diet and I kind of was complaining about it because I didn't do what I said I would do. And Sylvan in the group that I was in was just like, I'm just angry that you didn't use the team this week. And that's it. And it was just, it like snapped me out of some kind of hypnotism I was in. And I didn't need to go
Mm.
through a big process. Like I didn't need to examine all my whatever. It was just, I needed someone to just like slap me awake a little bit. And I think it's similar. It's like I need men around me to remind me who I am and to be pissed off in a way when I'm not doing that. Uh, and maybe there's even more than that, but like that's what I feel like the projects that turn me on the most are so much bigger than, and I don't mean this in a grand way, but it's like they're just so much bigger than what I would imagine for myself. And and I what I want is a team also of men where I'm like I'm inspired because of the risks they're taking. And I'm inspired because it's like they're also somehow committed to not going back to sleep.
I heard that there's like two necessities I heard from you about the team is one is for men to be pissed off about things that you do and that you have an experience of that just like bringing you back to being awake and without having to go through some kind of big process about it. And then the second thing I heard is that you want to be inspired by the risks that other men are taking.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to be in a team where like honestly it's happening in the space today, uh hearing different men where I'm just like, yeah, like I want to be around men where part of the culture is we're daring to be bigger than just like a healing culture. Not that I
Mhm.
have anything wrong with healing, and I think we all need a lot of it. But there's also like you know, what I've experienced with you, Maciek, of you're such a healer, actually. It's like that to me, it's like that's part of your lineage in the world. And I'm like, this isn't about you, but I'm just saying, like, I want to be on a team where it's like men are really committed to unfolding their lineages and taking risks and asking for what they need to be big as they actually could be. And and that they're daring me to do that too. It's like right now I'm writing a book, and it's such a new challenge, and I have hardly really told that many men about it. It's like there are a few people that know, but there's not really any men that know that like I'm doing all this research, like I'm going into like there's no one writing, and I'm not saying there should be because I haven't asked for this, but there's no one writing me messages every day and saying what's the word count, like like that are that are just like also pushing. And that's part of what I want is that I would have that in my life, and that I'd also be in a team where I'm giving that. There's a part of me where it's like I want to be giving all of as much of myself away as possible. Like I want to be pushing something forward with um with other men in instead of the other thing I know I can do, which is kind of be caught up in my problems and in trying to heal every little thing in me. And
Mm.
and like I think I need that on some level, but what I also need is this like being crazy in creation with other men, like just um being uh, kind of repeating myself, but I'm getting sort of more excited that that's like as a group of men, it would be like our creation, what each of us is creating. That's what the initiations would be for, so that we could become more able to create, hold space, like deliver.
I have a question about, I hear you say that you're writing a book and hardly people know about it, and you don't have men asking you about word count or just being on your team about it. And what's how what why did, yeah, why did you create it this way, or why do you not have a team about it? What's the purpose of this?
I think, I mean, one part is like I'm just being able to admit that actually would want that. Um,
Mm.
and yeah, I mean, I for sure have some kind of, well, like part of it is just a lone wolf thing. Like I'm going into a hibernation where I'm writing, and there's no one who
Mm.
can write a page for me. Like it's not how it works. But I think it's also just my own limits of imagination about what a team could do for me. And
Mm.
I never, to be honest, I didn't even think I would need a team or would want a team for this. But
Mm.
I think that's also what I want is to like expand my, today,
Mm.
even I had this thought
Yeah.
like, why am I holding space for this work talk? And this had never ever occurred to me, but it's like, I want when men enter possibility management that they could enter and someone would say, great, welcome. The men's village is over here. And that they could walk into like a thriving village where men are getting their balls back. Men know how to hold initiatory spaces. Men know how to do EHPs. Um,
Mm.
men could say, "You're new, great. We have this weekly like beginners group or whatever, you know." But like that had never occurred to me, and I think there are just like a lot of things I want that I haven't even allowed myself to imagine could be. But I think it's also with this book. It's like, what would I want? Like, yeah, I would want you or other men to send me a message of like, how's the word count today? Or what did you write about? Or what's your favorite sentence you wrote today? Or something. Like,
Mm. Mm.
and probably more stuff that I haven't thought of. But
Mm.
there's like one more minute left. I'm just gonna tell the men. I have a question for you, Maciek, in the interest of collaboration. How would you close this call? What's your sense?
My gremlin says goodbye. Um, how do I close this call?
I mean, I have one kind of linear way, but do you have
Which is
anything?
that which is that people share about what happened in the rooms, and then there's something about what's next. Like I feel fear about it being in the realm of like fantasies about the future, and so um maybe like some kind of a question like what are you creating from what came up in these rooms? Like what are you creating? What's the team that you're making? And and then yeah, that would be like the final thing to share before closing.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go with that. All right, I'm gonna close the rooms. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. And then we'll also have each other's emails. And so if other people want to make invitations, I just will say you can email any of us. Should start a Telegram group too. That's important.
Emails don't work that well nowadays, I think. I mean, I guess people are using them too much. I'm not.
Yeah. I've
Hmm.
started reading your messages. I've been traveling the last day, so I'm going through them and looking forward to reading the rest of them also in light of what you shared with me about what you want.
Hmm. Thank you. I'm sad and glad that you want to.
Thank you, Austin.
Welcome forward, man. We just have a couple minutes left, and I'd like to hear if anyone has something that came out of this where it's like you would want to create a team here now that you could ask for that. And additionally, I'll send out an email with this recording, and I'll start a Telegram group for the whatever men's initiation village culture. So you could also ask there. But in the last minutes, is there anything anyone wants from this team?
I
Something
would
that
like to
came
have
up.
some way to keep in touch with you all.
Can you say again, Ben?
I said I would like to have some way to keep in touch with you all.
How does Telegram work for you?
It's great.
A starting place. Cool.
Something that came up with Mikhail, and I'm sorry I'm saying your name wrong again, was just not knowing how to utilize a team. Like how does it go? What do I say? Like, okay, I've got this thing going on, and I was like, at one point, I was like, I need a team to help me figure out how to use a team.
And one goal we found for that is that a team can have different directions. So I can be in a team and can say I need this, but I can also say I give this. So that the team is enriched by possibility, so that the one in the spotlight or the one needing something knows, this is on the menu. I can ask for that.
It's the team for us. Every man is responsible for getting what he wants and for giving, no, for advocating for what he needs and for giving what he wants. So that it's not just one man, like, this is my team. It's like, no, we're a team together.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael and John. I love this saying, this is what I have to offer, or this is what I have for you. It's the other direction of team.
Yeah, I have this impulse of like proposing when we come to the Telegram group that we do that, like that we each state like a necessity we have and an offer we bring, or it could be more than one, but yeah. Yeah, that's my proposal.
It could even be an ongoing thing, not just by entering, but also ongoing, like when something pops up.
Yeah, like not knowing the possibility of how to ask about possibilities, or to possibility to ask for a menu, or to generate some place to start. Like that's a sticking point for me. And so yeah, that works if I hear what is the menu of, like, what are 3 or 4 things that you want to give, or how you hold space, or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, okay, there's a few tangible things, more obvious to me now, that I might not have thought about or known to ask.
Mm.
And then I could just have an easier go, or something like this, instead of trying to figure it out myself.
I feel fear now because I feel fear of like committing to doing this. I want to be with that a bit more. I'm afraid it goes a bit too like meta level, and I'm also a bit excited about this, about like holding space for a team to discover how to work in a team, and that like every man in there would be in at least one other team, and then could bring our discoveries and explore together how like yeah things about that.
Mm. Yeah, cool. Would you hold space for that, Maciek? I mean, when we enter the group, it seems like a great place to start, at least.
Hold space for what? For this
Hold
theme
space for the
or
possibility of men learning how to be on a team and use a team together.
yeah, that's what I said that I will not commit to it now. I wanna like check with myself as I feel fear it's like a bit like it's meta level and I don't know if I really have a necessity for this. Uh yeah.
Okay. All right. Men, thank you so much for joining today and for exploring, coming together and trying stuff. I appreciate that you're here and see you soon on Telegram.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Thank
Devin.
you.
Thanks,
you all.
Devin.
Thank you, Devin. Thank you, man.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.